Here's a question that will change the way you work. If you only had 2 hours a week to work on your goal, what would you do? I love this question because it forces you to prioritize what is actually important. Let's say that your goal is to get good grades. You wouldn't say, I'm gonna highlight the textbook and write pretty notes. No, instead you would say something like, do practice papers and revise what will actually be on the exam. When we limit your time, this is when you truly realize what is actually important. And this is also when you realize that you spend most of your day doing what's not important. I am a master procrastinator. Throughout high school, I never studied, but I always got good grades. And even now, after graduating high school, it's term 2 already, after seeing my term 1 results, I'm on track to get a 4.0 GPA. The reason that I did well is because I used 5 brain cells to realize only 1 or 2 things actually mattered. 80% of what they teach you in the classroom does not matter. I literally just did the past year papers because they can't test anything else. What they test this year will be the exact same as what they tested last year, just phrased slightly differently. So that's all I did, and I always did it during school hours when, I'm gonna have to be in class anyway, so I might as well finish it during school hours, meaning I never had to go home and study. And now I realize that this applies to everything else. So no matter what you want to do, only 1 or 2 things really make a difference. So for me, every day I do 1 hour of writing or recording for YouTube. Grrr. Test. 1 hour of exercise, be it the gym or running or sports or just any physical activity. Sometimes I just take a walk. And then for school, I finish everything in class, or when I come home, I finish everything within 1 or 2 hours of deep work. I have 4 or 5 projects going on simultaneously, so a couple weeks ago I just spent 1 or 2 afternoons and just finished all of them in those afternoons. Now those projects are done weeks before the deadline and some people haven't even started. Just sacrifice 2 or 3 afternoons and you can finish pretty much all your work. If I had 2 hours a week to work on YouTube, fitness and school, this is what I do. So all I do is those few things and I cut out the rest. I focus everything on that, and nowadays I literally can end work at 9 a.m. Think about that. I finish work at 9 a.m. That's when I have to report to school. Now this is when people come in and say, bro, if you were in India, you wouldn't be able to make it only studying 2 hours a day. The reason that most students, no matter where you're from, the reason that most students around you cannot do well is because they have messed up attention spans. Really think about it. Really, visualize my life. Put yourself in my shoes, right? I don't play video games. I don't have social media. I haven't touched those things in years. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. Because of that, I have so much time in my day and so much freed up mental space that's why I say I'm productive all day. I think the issue is that most people don't understand what productivity means. Productive doesn't mean you're working all day. Productive just means you're doing something for your future self. So in that way, sleep is productive. Socializing with people is productive. That's why this video is sponsored by Grammarly. It's like that one Bruce Lee scene where he enters the room and then all the doors shut, and then he could try kicking the doors down, but they're made of solid steel, so there's no point. He just sits down, he relaxes, he puts the nunchucks around his neck, and he just waits. Sometimes the most productive thing to do is nothing. Being productive is just playing the best move on the board. After studying for 2 hours, I know that the best move for me is no longer to study. So it's not some dick measuring contest of I study 5 hours a day, I study 7 hours a day, I study 52 hours a day. Let me just tell you that anyone can put in the work. It's not about who can sit there for 16 hours. It's about who can get the best grade by studying the least. That's the guy who wins. That's the guy who isn't depressed. That's the guy who ends work at 9 a.m. and has free time to do a lot of good habits like the gym or just getting more sleep, which at the end of the day, all these good habits come full circle and improve his quality of studying and focus because he has no bad habits. The guy who studies all day has no time to actually learn. And maybe you're not like me and every day you need a little bit more time. Instead of 2 hours, maybe you need 3 or 4 hours. That's fine. Some days I need more time as well. All I'm saying is to prioritize the 1 or 2 things that matter the most and cut out all the distractions. I promise you that in your day, you can save hours of your time. So again, genuinely ask yourself, if you only had 2 hours a week to work on your goal, what would you do? Tomorrow, only do those 1 or 2 vital tasks and cut out the rest. What you'll find is by the end of the day, you did less, but you accomplished more. That's productivity. Take action. Fuck you. Mwah.